Yeah, I gotta get back on it. No, so it's still
Yes.
6:05. 3 members present. Open the meeting. The first thing we have is reorganizing the board.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Timothy Tony chairman.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Stu to be clerk. Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Stu, on the election. Next order is to accept the minutes of 5/1/2013.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstained. I wasn't here.
Purchase orders.
First one from Granite City. Materials needs complete inspection of the water building walls. State tax list.
So, this is part of our, inspection, and we have the electrician hired, and these are the materials he needs, to complete the project. So, I just received the other quote now at 6 o'clock, so it is lower than Granite City. So, if you don't mind, we'll go with them. And the other two did not get back to me.
So you don't want us to sign the Granite City?
And I'll just change that PO to this company. We need the materials so that we can finish the project.
So do you wanna make out a new one, or you wanna
I
sign?
have to use this one, I'll just change the name. Okay. I'm just gonna change the name here. And I'll fill this out. But it's the same materials, it's just, I sent out the quotes.
Yeah. How much did we say?
About $200 there, I think.
What's this? Can you refresh my memory?
Okay, so, as you know, we need to have the fire, lights, they're not working in the wells,
Mhm.
so we need 4 new fire lights. The hot water heater has to be hooked up correctly. There is an outlet at well 2 for the air condition that's not properly installed. I think that was it. It's really for the emergency lights, they weren't working, and we're gonna replace the batteries.
Okay, so
But 4 of them, 4 of the actual lights need to be replaced, but we also have to buy batteries, and that's all the materials we need.
okay, so this was part of the going through the wells for the DEP and
Yep, in this building for
this building
inspections.
for inspections.
This is for your cabinets,
Yeah, so we bought that off the state bid, so the cabinets will be ordered, go to town meeting.
State supply, that's a standard.
And that was, yep, for plumbing supplies that we needed.
So on the WB Mason, you said that's the
State contract,
state contract pricing?
yep.
And so we did save some money there, didn't we?
Right.
How much?
$200.
Good job, Laura.
Thank you.
How much was this from, Northeast Electric?
So the bill is right here, Stu. He didn't pass it on.
Okay.
Sorry for that, it just was emailed to me, so, So Tim, so I'm not, we need to have a supervisor sign that payroll also?
Let's take care of the purchase orders first. So is this the last purchase order?
Yeah, we just had the three of them tonight.
Okay.
Actually, you sign that, right?
I can't, no.
Again.
I have a question on purchase order 982, $136 to a former employee.
So that was his clothing allowance. Do you want me to pull that out? I can do that for you.
I think it should be pulled out.
Where were we at, honestly?
982.
What date was that, Stu?
January 11th, 2013,
Right. I'll bring that to the next board meeting.
$136.
Yeah, why don't we,
I'll put it on the agenda.
yeah, if you could put it on the agenda. That's already been paid, right?
Right,
That's been paid?
right. That's an ongoing list, Stu, of everything that when they're X, they're paid. They're signed by the
Okay.
board. It's just that we keep them running total, so
All right.
everybody's aware of what's going on.
All right.
And I just bring that, just keep updating everybody's.
Which one is the?
We should look into that, maybe the next meeting, we'll bring that up as a topic.
Sure,
which
sure.
one
It's a 936. What number was that, Stu?
982.
136. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Why don't we do that? Why don't we bring that up at the next meeting and then look at that policy and then we look at that PO, we look at the policy. We have a policy on that? As far as clothing
It's a
allowances?
union contract negotiation, so
Okay.
I'll bring a union contract.
Is there a section in the union contract that we can
Sure.
just kind of
Sure,
pull out?
sure.
Okay. So we'll bring that up at one of the meetings. That's another one, so. State Supply is, we've been dealing with them for a long time. And they tend to have the favorable prices for us. And they're pretty much the same pricing with all the different vendors, and they're the most convenient.
$140.22 for parts.
And this one here is related to the articles, one of the articles. Laura got some filing cabinets, and she saved us $200. I think the total article was $1,200.
Right.
Yes, it was.
when they deliver them?
Off the state contract, it takes 3 to 4 weeks. So after you sign it, we'll get it going in a couple of weeks or what cabinets.
What are you gonna do with all those cardboard boxes?
We still need more, so if anybody wants to donate, hopefully fill them up with more stuff.
Okay, so. And the next is the time, in the absence of John Reza, who normally signs this, I need to make sure that the time is in line with everything. Is, the superintendent, he's out, and Laura was signing them when she was fulfilling his duties as interim superintendent during his last absence. So right now, I think that the only thing we can do is we, as a board, have to look at this, this time, and then we have to certify it until John returns.
I'll make a motion that the chairman sign it then, in the absence of John.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What's today, the 13th?
15.
15th?
You have to sign the other sheet too, and Stu can sign.
We should look at that, Stu.
Can we start having old business and new business on our agendas?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Old business and new business, so bringing up old business and new business, have a spot for it on the agenda.
Okay. So when we put the agenda together, we'll segregate it out to old business and new business.
And on the minutes, it would be nice if we came in a little early to read them before the meeting, or stop by to pick them up, or ask Laura to email them to us so we can read them during the weeks.
Do you have an email address?
Yes, I do, but it's changing as we speak because my wife's home from Verizon to Comcast. So I don't know.
How about you? Okay, so, gotta get,
You all set with that, son?
I need to sign it, I'm just looking at it.
what we gotta do is, we gotta make sure that this gets available, so when you come in, a week or something, you can look at, for the minutes. And I'll try to get here early, but Wednesdays are bad for me, I have,
That's,
2 to 3 weeks ago, Chairman Snow came in and asked about a letter going out to whoever owned the furniture out here. Did the superintendent send that letter?
No, but I did, so
You did, okay.
the letter did go out.
Is the furniture going?
He has until the 20th,
All right.
so I could put it on the agenda for next week, and I can give you a copy of the letter I sent him.
All right. And the superintendent's truck
Is here.
is here in the garage, but he still has the computer and the phone.
Right, that's correct. just,
Thank you.
I think we have our first appointment here. Ann, I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
Yeah, hi guys, how are you? Come on in. You want some candy?
What? We bounce off the walls. It's gonna be fun. Yes, they will. Everybody else will.
Can we ask for any questions from the folks that are here?
Is there any questions from the folks here?
Regarding the furniture that's going, is that couch in question?
The couch, anything include the refrigerator, the stove? Is that
No,
part of
No,
it?
not the stove.
Refrigerator.
That's another matter. And it's couch and a chair and a refrigerator.
Couch, chair, refrigerator.
Hopefully that issue is somewhat settled. The only reason I ask, I'm Paul Clements, and Bob Swingowski's stepdad. When he comes home, he's just complaining, he's got a lot on his shoulders right now, as you know.
Exactly.
And he's like, why am I being bothered about this couch and stuff like that, so.
Excuse me, Paul, he is not being bothered, it's nothing against law.
Oh, I know that.
It's just some past employees, they have to leave. They're here illegally because the Board of Selectmen never authorized to accept the
Mhm.
donation.
I guess he felt it was some pressure on him.
No, it's
That has nothing to do with Rob whatsoever.
Absolutely not,
and that is the truth.
absolutely not.
Thanks.
So Rob is a good man.
Yep.
We got him on the agenda later on.
Mhm.
We have to, what's done is done, we have to move forward. See where it pass.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tim Toomey.
I'm Tim Ann Rubin, live right 2 doors down on Central Street. I have one week in March. Nice to meet you.
Right.
Nice to meet you. And,
Yeah, hi.
thank you so much for that day when I was doing.
Would you like a seat?
I have copies of the letter that I dropped off last week. I had a water leak that was in my front yard, it was underground, so I didn't realize I had a leak. The water pressure didn't go down. There was no noise that we could hear from indoors or outdoors, because it was, and the ground was no puddling, so there was no indication that I had a water leak. And we got the bill, and I said, oh, it has to be a mistake. I didn't realize it was computerized. So we went to pay the bill over a weekend. I saw home in the morning and checked, figuring that it had to be in error because it was so much higher than the usual water bills are. And, I was told that it's computerized and it was a mistake and that we must have a leak. And I said, here in water line, and so they sent 2 men out that afternoon, and one person went down into our cellar and shut the water off. And then there was one person down at the meter pit, which is located close to the street, and he said the meter was still spinning quite fast. So he said, you have an underground water leak. And so I asked if they repaired that, and they said because it's on private property, you don't do that. So I had no idea how to repair a leak. So I asked the people that came to the door if they knew, and they told me about TW Excavating, who turned out to be wonderful. They actually ended up repairing the leak for me. But I didn't know where the leak was underground, between where the meter pit is and coming into the house. So I asked if the water department could locate the leak for me, and I was told they didn't have detection equipment. So I called around trying to find a company that figures out where leaks are. And there's one local man, but he said he only works, he actually does work for the water department, but he doesn't work for individual people. So couldn't help me, I'm calling all over, and everybody kept referring me back to my local water department. I said, well, they told me it's not my property, and I can't fix it for me. So I finally found this company in Newbury later in that same day, luckily, that Monday, after the weekend I sat down to pay the bill. And they could come out, not Monday, now it's later in the afternoon, not Tuesday, but Wednesday. Tuesday, of course, it snowed, that was in March, that last snowstorm that we got. And so now we came out Wednesday, right, ground's covered in snow. So he did the best he could in locating where the leak was. He was about 40 feet off. So I called TW as soon as he located it, spray painted the snow for me and put a flag in. TW said they could come up for first thing next morning. So now we're from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, now it's Thursday. And he did, he dug right where that was, but it wasn't there, so he needed to make a decision, do I go towards the street or do I come up towards the house? He decided to go towards the street, towards the meter pit. It wasn't that way. He went all the way to the meter pit and exposing the pipe, going very carefully, not to do any damage to what isn't already broken. And then, I'm trying to call the leak detection people that I had from Newbury to see if they could come back out and better determine where the leak is. In the meantime, TW called here and somebody came over and leak detection equipment and found the leak. And so he did find it. It was about, it's still where the overhead wires, we have the electrical wires, the cable wires are on poles, and then after a certain point, they go down into the ground and into the house. So we're still at the point where the wires are still up before they go down into the ground. And once he located where the leak is, it was fixed very quickly. And it didn't take him very long to fix it and then just fill in the trench again. He did a great job, so I thank you for the recommendation. But the amount of water, unfortunately, that leaked into the ground, between us figuring out we had a leak and then between getting fixed, is almost $1,000. And so we paid $350 to the leak detection people to get an approximation of where the leak was, because the ground was so noisy when it came out because of the melting snow. And then we paid $895 to TW to actually excavate and fix the pipe and put it back where it was. So we paid $1,245 just to repair it, just to get back where it was and stop the water. We paid $90 on that first bill that we got once we found out that it was indeed not an error, and that was more than our usual bill. And then the next bill came with, I paid $100, which again is more than what our usual bill is, and now the new bill just was in the middle last week. So, and that got about $80-some. So I'm asking if there's a way that an abatement can be made, because I did take care of the leak as soon as I found out that is indeed what the problem was. And, I really didn't know. I mean, the monthly statements might be a good thing, because it would have been even 3 times the amount before we figured it out. But, the water, unfortunately, just had no idea that it was a leak, and we found out we had plastic pipes, I guess the town allows plastic pipes. But if there's a way you can determine that people's usage spiked up, and it was around the clock, obviously, the leak doesn't stop. If there's a way that, notify people, like if you have a leak, here's things that you can do, as I was just.
The only way we test that is once a month when we read the meters and we show the spike in it, correct?
Mrs. Rubin, as much as I sympathize with you, the same thing happened to me last January.
Frozen ground.
And when the ground's frozen, it's tough to tell where the leak is. If it was this time of year, chances are you would have a wet spot on your lawn.
Yeah, I wish there was. And it is on an incline, Main Street, go up to the house.
So which house, is it the next house down, or?
Right, it's not this one that's set way back, it's the one next to it, so it's kind of in the side yard from here.
So it's 2 houses up,
Right, the second house, yeah.
and then, when, so you discovered it on a certain date that you discovered it by, you had a bill that was kind of high.
That's right.
And so, at that point, you called the water department. And, when did the water department come
They
down?
came out that afternoon, and so I called them, it was Monday, because I sat down and paid the bills on Saturday. I said, well, I'll call, it has to be 6, so I'll call Monday morning. And they came, 2 men came over Monday afternoon, one shut the water off in the cellar, and the other one standing by the meter pit and said that.
So you have a meter pit out close to the street?
Right,
Okay, so the break occurred after the meter pit?
right.
So,
Yeah, so I the water would go into the ground, unfortunately, we had no idea, I mean, the pressure didn't drop, there was no noise that we could
Yeah.
hear above ground, and, it wasn't, I mean, we did have a snowy winter or whatever, but, you know, we didn't, there was no puddling, there was nothing to indicate that there was,
So then you had to hire a leak detection outfit, and that cost $350.
that's it.
And then you called up an excavation company, so you're already into this. $1,200, $1,300.
Yeah, $1,240.
Then you had the water bill to deal with. What's the current water, what was the water bill?
The current charges or the whole bill is just over $1,000.
So it's $1,000, it's a $2,000 loss or more. Wow. We don't really have any provisions to allow for abatements, it's a meter thing, so I think it's something we ought to, revisit here for a hardship thing. That's quite a bit of money to take care of the water problem.
Gentlemen, may I suggest that you take this under advisement and discuss what you just mentioned?
I think what we ought to do is, we ought to review this. We're gonna hold off on making a decision tonight. And I think we wanna do is, we wanna think about this and figure out how we can, what does it really mean to this department or the town? What a catastrophic break like this would be, and then considering all the costs, to see if there's some kind of relief we could offer. I don't know, at this point, we can't make a decision tonight, but I think we ought to bring it up on an agenda item on the next meeting or so. So I'd like to hold off on that. How do you feel about it, Roy? Because we're getting into these things where we're getting $900 bills here and there, and it's no fault of these customers. Yet it's, the policy has been that it's a meter read and a charge for the meter read. So it's been real simple for many years about that, and it does happen, it's happened to him.
Mrs. Rubin did not ignore this, she acted on it right away as soon as
And she acted on it.
I did, yeah, as soon as I really thought it was, that weekend, I thought, what has I said, no, we didn't have the water running. And then I found out, no, it's computerized, that you must have a leak somewhere, we did.
So, I think I'd like to entertain a motion that we revisit our policy for this type of an incident, or maybe create a policy and some research, and next, we'll give ourselves like 10 to 15 days,
I think 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Do I have a motion like that? You wanna make a motion, Mike?
Second.
So the motion is that we're going to look at our internal policy about leaks, and we're going to see what our current policy is in writing, and we're gonna decide whether we're gonna modify that to accommodate unusual and unforeseen break circumstances that create a hardship for our customers, and see if there's any kind of relief we can do for that kind of situation. You second that?
I did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for your time.
No promises.
I
We will
understand.
discuss it.
Yep, I thank you. I thank you very much.
It's quite a bit of a,
It's not leaking anymore.
I would like to make a motion that we
Okay, I'll be back in touch.
start having meetings on the same day and the same times, so when customers, residents come in, they know when we instead of Wednesday,
Well, we had it set up originally first Tuesday of the month, and then everybody wanted to change it again.
well, it's not so much that as it is, we've been in kind of crisis mode for a while, so, yeah, I agree, I think we ought to do that, try to stick to a schedule.
I think we should meet weekly.
Tuesdays have been traditional.
Oh, that sounds very good. We should meet on a regular basis weekly,
And 6
till
o'clock.
we get things straightened out.
Does Tuesday sound good for you?
It's fine with me.
Tuesdays, because at 6 o'clock makes it easier for me to,
6 o'clock.
Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, so
Give residents a chance after work to come in here if they have a question.
why don't we do that?
yeah, I mean, once we get everything caught up and beforehand, maybe we can go to every other week or something, we'll see how it works out, you know.
But I think we should be,
Okay, so we got a few agenda items now,
Yep, our next appointment is here right now.
okay. So we'll do that, I don't know if we need a motion, we'll just try to stick to that schedule.
No, you can sit there.
Mr. Caparelli?
Yes.
hi, Joe.
Congratulations. My dispute is not nearly as drastic, but in February, we came before the commission, disputed bills from April through August of 2012. We got an abatement for April, May, and June. It's only the July and August bill. It's $52.95, so we got a usage of 4,600 gallons. I think we had decided from the previous hearing that there's some sort of a malfunction with the reading mechanism, whatever the case may be. At any rate, we got abatement from the first three, but the month of July and August, we were on vacation for 2 weeks. So to use 4,600 gallons of water in a 2-week period that we were in fact home is obviously incorrect, but we didn't receive any sort of abatement about that.
So do we have meter readings there on that?
So it's attached here to his data logger, the letter I sent, and we did abate May, June, July, and August. But I think the voice message I got was that we didn't abate enough in the August bill.
Correct.
So I think that's
I was,
the
it was
question
abated
today.
$2 in August.
Yeah, so we calculated out the average use, and we went through our formula that you approved at the meeting before, and that's why I drafted this letter and did that abatement. So it's now another question for you.
I mean, the average is 41.89, correct?
Right.
And it's 46, so I mean, it's very easily, you could have used an extra 400 gallons, that's what I'm saying.
Since we first started noticing these discrepancies, I've been checking my meter readings, and we consistently use no more than, at the max, 120 gallons a day. Usually it's somewhere around 100.
No, what I'm saying, middle of August, I mean, we're only talking 400 gallons, 411 gallons. In the hot months, it's very possible we could have used the extra 411.
Being built for 4,600.
Right, but your average is 41.89. That's what we got on the sheet right here.
Okay, and again, we're on vacation for 2 weeks, we're only there for 2 weeks.
The average for the month, is it?
41.89, you use 46. So you do 400 gallons,
So it's like a $400 differential on that?
400 gallons.
And then the previous months was like the 7,000 range, right?
Yeah, I mean, we
10,000.
already did this here, Tim.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think we've kind of actually been going back to the health. I mean, you can see it here, I mean, we deducted that, we deducted that, and this. You know what I'm saying? These are the ones we deducted.
Yeah.
I think we've been one.
So we deducted from the May, June, and July bills.
Which is a
we
total of, yes, yeah,
took off $149.71.
71 cents.
Okay. Well. And then, so it's just an additional month you're looking for, Mr. Capital?
Right, that 52.95, right, for the month of July into August. I mean, we did not use 4,600 gallons of water, and
No, we had the meter tested, correct?
So, yeah, I have the meter testing here, and it did test, 99.3% accurate.
We're allowed 2%, correct?
Right, so that's the meter testing.
So the meter was correct, so what accounts for the loss of water? Refresh my memory, if you could.
I don't think it was read properly. I don't know if it was read electronically, but whatever the case would be, it wasn't.
So here was the reading, we did do the readings. That was the readings.
What's this spike here? Did you look at that before?
Yeah, that's not.
Is that part of the June bill?
That's part of June,
So we're down at this range.
actually, it doesn't show through on August. That's
So,
April, right?
Tim, here's every day by hour, those things that you already looked at.
Yeah, I didn't know that 400 gallons. was a big- what was it?
400 gallons is, what does that equal?
Well, it's per 1,000 gallons, you have to divide.
So is it, what is it, a $4 thing?
So if we credited $2.80, so I think he's, what, you're
Credit
asking us
545 is good, yeah.
to credit the whole month? So,
We were away 2 out of 4 weeks, and for us to use that much water, just, like I said, you look at the past months and the previous months, we've been getting billed for using 10,000 gallons.
Yeah, but I mean,
You
we
know,
had the meter
August-
tested, that's what I'm saying, we had the meter tested,
I'm
it
not
comes back
disputing that
99%.
the meter's wrong, the reading is wrong. It was obviously erroneous. We don't use the price, at this point, we're taking Navy showers.
So the meter tested out okay. What he's saying is that the data input was not realistic.
Up until we had this here, and I was checking that meter practically every day, we're using between 100, most 120 gallons a day. The most.
So I'm not even have a, if we got a meter reader, computer thing, picking up the numbers and then cranking into the computer, and we're billing out on the numbers that it's generating, I don't understand. So there was no fixing of anything over there, it was.
No. Tested the toilets, no problems.
And we haven't had any similar problems with meter read glitches or
We
anything
haven't
like
had
that.
any problems at all then.
no, because we know how much water we're pumping out of the tank, so we know what we bill and what we're pumping.
Yeah,
So it wasn't a flag, like,
well, 400 gallons would
Edna
get picked
Keys
up.
is coming in, you can see her data logger, it was a flag in our software. It never picked up at his house on our end.
So when was his meter changed, do we know that?
Yeah, so his meter was changed, August 1st, 2012.
No, before this,
We put in another meter.
before this glitch.
The first meter was put in, hold on a minute, because we actually replaced the meter also. I'll have to put a date of the first installation. I don't have that with me right now. But the first meter tested okay, but we switched it out anyway because of what he was saying. So we put another meter
In August,
in August.
after.
We were
these-
trying to, figure it out. I mean, this is an unusual situation.
What's the dollar amount we talking about here, because we're starting to talk quite a
Well,
lengthy
the
amount of
test
time.
alone for testing the meter was $150. plus the actual meter head. That was our cost, obviously. So we're, into a couple $100 worth of,
So we're
I
doing
don't think it's a meter out there, like, I'm checking it every day.
we
So-
changed it though.
Are you more conscious about your water usage now that
We've
this
been
is?
very conscious about that. our
So
water.
you're probably more conservative, right?
We've really not changed our habits significantly. I mean, the biggest, we got abatements for the previous 3 months, is why not that month? And as I said, we were away for 2 out of the 4 weeks. 4,600 gallon, I'm looking at my bill right here from, 225.13 to 327.14, and that's 4,500 gallons, that's for a full month. I got 4,600 gallons here in a 2-week period. So it's twice, in my estimation, it's twice what it should be. I'd be comfortable paying half that.
I just feel that we've credited everything along here, we've changed the meters.
We
process
went through this before,
Yes, we
and
have.
I know what you're saying, Roy. We went through this before. Why didn't we bring this up before? When we were talking about it before.
I think we did bring it up before, and I don't know why we only accredited those $2 for that
So,
month.
what we did was, at that board meeting, we put down our numbers, what we calculated, and they were gonna go home and review it.
Okay.
So, here we are.
So from
So,
April
they're
to,
not going with our average of that. They
Okay, so
have
we
their
haven't,
own-
we haven't abated anything for
We
this,
did
John.
abate it.
Oh, we did?
we
did
agreed from
abate
April
it.
to July, just
But
the
we
July to
don't agree
August.
on this month.
Why not the July to August? That's
Okay, so
my,
we credited your account $149.71. And what you're looking for tonight is to have 2 more months of this credit thing?
just one.
And how much is
The
the
month
dollar?
of, it's $52.95 from, July 25th, 12, I'm sorry, 6/28/12 to July 25/12.
He wants to abate the whole month of August. So we
Well,
we didn't do
At least
that.
half of it, we were away for 2 weeks.
So this is readings before the meter was changed out in August?
No, that reading is after the meter change out. We read that the last week in August, and we changed the meter the first day of August.
I think
No,
we
I
should
got
take
that,
this under advisement.
July 25th.
But the actual abatement we gave you was for your August bill.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
The August bill for usage in July.
So that's what,
It's 4,600 gallons.
no, you were gone in August, so, no, because you can, no, that's your August bill.
From a period of 6/28 to 7/25. The bill comes in August, correct.
We abated your August 10th bill. Right, so the reading was for July. I'm sorry, yeah,
So this abatement he's looking for is for
August, so we didn't even
prior
talk
to us
about.
putting a new meter in?
Right,
Okay, so we abated based on a meter that was 99%, but then there's something different about it. And then we put a new meter in August, and he's looking for the difference between when we abated it from the July bill to the August time when we put another meter in. And how much, what's the dollar amount of that, Mr. Catrola?
I have the full value of the month is, we were billed is $52.95.
The full water bill for the month is $52.95?
Right.
You want the whole month for nothing?
No, he does not.
Yeah.
Mr. Caffarelli
If you give it,
Suggested.
it.
No, I'm just saying,
suggested
the
half
difference of 400 gallons is
For
what I'm
the
saying.
2 weeks.
for the 2 weeks.
So it's a 4-week bill, okay,
Right.
so I think what I would suggest we do is just, because it's related to some meter that we already made a decision on, I would suggest that maybe we can, you know, use the same basis to give him an abatement, and only half, he's only looking for half of it, this is 2 weeks, and then it's a dollar amount of how much?
$26.
$26, okay, so I think what we ought to do is let's just abate that. That's what I would suggest we do. Only because it's the same meter, where we already abated it, we just didn't know the duration of
I
it.
think it's very expensive, $200 plus.
Yeah, but it's only 25 bucks. Yeah. We've already, you know, tested the meter. I guess we can use this meter now, again, now it's certified, doubly certified. You like that word, doubly?
I'll just take that back, so I have that in this file, thank you.
So I'm waiting for a motion.
I'll make that motion, drop it off $25.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have one more appointment with Ed McKees.
What's this one here, this big pack of stuff here?
Oh, that's his stuff here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is his.
That's his stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just have a seat, Ed.
That's all we did, something
This is Keys.
Yes, hello.
How are you tonight? I'm Tim
Thanks for
Toomey.
that, done.
I'm sorry.
My name is Tim Toomey. This is Stewie Dalzell.
Yes,
This is Roy Ricker.
hi.
So Edna had a leak, and that's her data logger there.
Right there?
Yep, and the letter she sent. And she also has a bill for $980.
The problem I have with this one here is it goes through a swamp and a brook. There's no way anybody could tell it's leaking. So I think we gotta definitely do something here to help her out. The way it goes in off Maple Street and down through the swamp and the brook, correct?
That's correct.
Whereabouts is this?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Almost
Whereabouts?
almost cross from Pingree Farm Road up in there.
Okay, so the water line goes through a swamp. You already looked at it,
The
what?
stream that comes right through the property from, goes right to Mill Pond.
So you have no way of telling, I mean, even if it bubble up through the ground, you wouldn't tell because it's a brook and the swamp area.
Okay.
So I think what we need to do here is,
Well, is there a meter pit?
yes,
Yes. That's
So
out
real
to
long
the
driveway.
street.
it's almost across from, one driveway this side of Pingree Farm Road, where the new station's gonna be. And, I think what we need to do is go back to our average of the month and go by that.
Has this been actually going on since February?
Mm.
So why are we talking about it in May?
Well, there's no way of knowing when the leak is,
Yeah, but
going
this
through
would
the
have
road.
been kind of a spike occurred in February. Why are we hearing about it now? Why, have you read about this before?
Sure, we went out right away, Edna, right, we called her and we went out that evening. We had 2 bills for her, that's probably why we were waiting, Edna, because we knew there was another bill. The leak was stopped after the billing period.
So we got 2 bills
Yeah, I attached the
Saying there's
bills
something-
there, yeah,
amok there.
yeah.
And so when did we get a call that, there was a problem there?
So we called you, right, Edna? We
Yeah.
saw it, so this did flag on our software,
Yeah,
when we went out and read, so we went out that day, we called Edna and we went out, and
Okay.
she fixed it around 5 o'clock that evening. Rob went out and shut off the water, and, but it ran into 2 billing cycles by the time we, got to it.
so when did we intervene here?
So on the billing date, you can see here, this is what a water leak really looks like,
Yeah.
okay? Let me show you here.
Okay.
So Edna, so for the TV, this is what it really looks like.
Right.
She's using, and then it leaked. And it continued to leak until we fixed it. So our billing here was on the
What's their average?
so the 27th was the reading. So right here was the day that we found out about it. So this was leaking, her average is, I gotta go back to my computer.
So we found out about it in the normal billing cycle, and then
When
we
we went
can
out with-
graph it out
Right,
to show that, the thing, we couldn't have picked it up any sooner than right around, March 27th.
so we would have typically, we do leak detection, when we're driving around town.
Yeah.
Computers on, but because of our staffing here, we weren't doing that until we were actually reading. But the computer that's in the Ranger will pick this up. There's a leak program in the truck that will pick this up, when we're driving out doing our normal work.
Kinda hard though when it's sitting out there, right?
We haven't been
Okay,
using the
so-
Ranger, yeah.
So then, to make the story a little bit clearer, so then it took Edna like 10 days to figure out, let's get this thing fixed, now that we know it's a problem, so she acted pretty fast on it.
She did.
Yeah. And we also have some extenuating circumstances like the stream and stuff, so I think this is like the previous case.
I'd like to make a motion that we take her average that she uses normally every month and average the bill out and go by that. If it's 2,000, 3,000, whatever the
Yeah.
average
That
is.
sounds like it.
And take the average for the thing and just take care of it that way.
I'd like to do that, but the previous woman that came in, we were gonna look at our policy to see how we could give relief to these guys.
This is a different situation with a crossing through a brook, and there's no way, that you can tell what's going on.
But she had the same situation with the winter frozen ground, and she tried to act as fast as she could, she got a leak guy in
I
there.
made the motion, it's up to you guys.
Okay,
I think we should take this under advisement with the lady previously that was in here. And it's the same situation. And discuss it. You suggested perhaps come up with a policy.
I think that would be the fair thing to do. At this time, we'd like to ask you to hold, to ask you if we can postpone this until we look into this as a general system or regulation adjustment, maybe. We can look at that and come up with a solution for these hardship things. And we realize it's a hardship for you, but we would like to make it fair with everybody coming in here. We're seeing these things more frequently because we have this new detection and reading method that allows us to see leaks sooner rather than later. This could have been a lot worse. This could have been 4 months after the fact. And that would have been a severe thing. So I think what we're gonna try to do is maybe look at what other communities are doing and see if this is something that would be fair. I think it is, but we wanna look into it.
The biggest problem we got is that truck's not out in the road, it's lifting the machine and everything. Which is stupid. You blame that on town hall.
Yeah. Well,
We said we would have an answer in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Previously, 2 weeks.
so why don't we, put Edna on the agenda for 2 weeks from now, and hopefully we'll have that all squared away.
Okay, all right.
Is that fair enough, ma'am?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, okay.
Okay, so. And we heard from, this is outstanding bills now. Where are the,
I didn't attach them, you told me that you were gonna speak to this is still on, it has not,
has he called here or?
no, not to me.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were talking with them, you know.
He hasn't contacted me in 2 weeks now, so. Is he,
So this has not gone on a warrant, and the bills are here in our office.
yeah, him and a few others too.
Well,
right.
this one in particular, that was separate from the other one,
Well, he has 2 bills.
right.
Okay. I'll give him another call, and then we'll see
So I
if we
just
can
wanna-
get him in.
You know, the end of the fiscal year, if we don't pay this,
Good point, Laura.
you
Let's
know.
try to resolve by the end of the fiscal year.
So if you want me to do something, Tim, just let me know.
What I would suggest we do is maybe send him a letter and invite him into the next meeting.
Okay?
And say it's the board's desire to resolve this billing issue. Would you please come into, and we're gonna do Tuesday meetings, so we give him an option of coming in next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, for this convenience. Please let us know. This is a bill for locksmithing, for the addition of back stoop, and also locks inside the building here. And it's been outstanding for a while. There's 2 different bills that have been involved there.
Goes back to February 17th.
One goes back to February 17th, and the other one goes back probably to maybe last November.
All right.
So we're gonna send the locksmith a letter and invite him into a meeting.
Okay.
Administrative assistant is the next thing on the agenda. I think that we still want to hold off for a week on that.
Okay.
I think Stewie should be able to maybe talk to the candidates.
Okay.
Since Stewie's a member of the board, I think Stewie should, decide with us. You know, we've all interviewed the 2 candidates. Stewie, would you be willing to maybe talk to them
Sure.
through the town hall, the administrative? Okay, so I think that do we have a copy of their resumes for Stewie?
Sure, I can get a copy. I don't have them here.
Okay,
Do you wanna do that at a board meeting? Want me to
No,
bring them back
I think
in?
that Stewie was here, I think he
Okay.
would just want to
We
call
should
a
have
couple.
a packet that we had with Scott last week.
Sure, I have it, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't have it
and
right
just
now,
give it-
yeah.
Yeah, give that to Stu.
Sure, sure.
And so then we can get the ball rolling on that, maybe the next meeting, maybe you can, would you have the time to do that, Stu?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Water treatment plant change order number 5. We have Barbara Cook here and Mr. John Sikora. Would you like to come up and,
Sure. So I believe you discussed change order 5 at the last meeting,
yeah,
and there's for us to make some changes. I don't have the original price, but it was somewhere in the range of, say, 65,000. And got it down to 53,727.
so what was that process like, John?
So we eliminated the automatic, the motorized or electrical for the garage door opener. The garage door opener can be used with a chain that will come with it, so we're able to eliminate 11,000.
So that, was that part of the first change order? I don't recall that being part of it. Or
Yes, it was item 5.
That was item 5
I
before?
left both change orders in your package there, Tim.
Okay,
So you can compare them.
There is an additional item that was not discussed that just came up recently as well too.
excuse me for 1 second. So, change order 5 was 11,000. Was 11,000, what is it now? Or item number 5?
The original item number 5 for the door electrical has
Was
been
11,000, so we
Correct.
eliminated 11,000.
Correct.
Okay.
11,000 for, you eliminate for what?
The electrical
Door.
connections for the door. The garage door and the loading dock area.
That one item's $11,000?
That's correct.
Okay, so how do we get this on the first one? Why do we get the electrical door opener on the change order? On the, what do they call it, the request for information? Is it RFIs?
Correct.
Okay. So we went and got an RFI from Kinsman for an electrical door opener. How do they get on there to begin with?
So Weston and Sampson sent a change proposal to get a price for that work.
Okay,
And Kinsman had sent it over to the electrician subcontractor, and he priced it up.
okay. So why do we want a electric door opener? What was the reason?
We figured that because you guys don't wanna pay for a lot of change orders, that we would take it out, so now it will be open by hand.
But how do we get from getting it in there to begin with? Why do we have a change order for that to begin with? Why, who requested a door opener like that?
Well, the spec calls for a motor-operated door. So a motor-operated door is being supplied.
Okay,
So now, in the future, if Raleigh Water would like to, and they can connect that up with.
So if something down the road, they can
Correct.
put electricity to it, make
Yeah.
it work.
so we have a motor operated door that can be operated with a chain,
Correct.
we just don't have the wires going to it. Okay. And so just it wasn't just a motor operated door, it was just the wires,
It's
is that
just
11,000?
It's just the wires, going from that side of the building all the way over to the electrical rooms, it's quite a distance.
Okay,
Those doors have switches, they have safety, they're also called safety switches, so
Basically,
as
it's
the
safe
motor's
over
running, if someone happened to be under it and it hit their shoulder, it would stop. Controls up, down. So there's quite a bit of wiring for that.
okay. So we can eliminate that change order,
That
or the wiring to something that needed wiring to begin with?
correct.
Okay.
What number is this one?
That's number 5.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so,
number 5 on the old one.
No.
all right, so. The next one now?
Okay, so the next one is at well 2. It was found that a input-output module was needed for the PLC. When the contractor received the program for the SCADA system at well 2. And he realized that there had been some work that was done that wasn't documented on the drawings in the past. So this new module is needed to run well station number 2. So throughout the years, there's been some upgrades done at the well station that should have been noted on the O&M manuals or record drawings. If you hire someone to come in there and do some work, they should always update those drawings, and that was not done. So the software was updated, so when the software was reviewed, they found out there was some changes there, so that's an additional cost.
So they were unaware of the changes that the town of Raleigh made at their well number 2.
And this could be, in the last
When they
10,
designed it,
20
or
years.
designed,
Who knows?
they're putting it in for the bidding, so
Correct.
it is the town of Raleigh's misfortune that they didn't have this on a drawing that could be reviewed by design people?
Correct.
Okay.
Or even the subcontractor who was there reviewing before he did his work.
Did the contractor come around to the well station, look at the job site
He did.
before he bid?
Um,
And he did not pick that up?
I'm not sure they opened every PLC, no. And this is something that you most likely would see in the software program. And that was given to him in the last few weeks.
What number is this one? Number
Some
seven.
of that's
the new one.
the new one, item 3.
And this item is,
So that's 10,016.
no, this
No.
is the new change order, item 3 for $975. And, this module it's about, say 2 inches wide by 4 inches tall, and it slips into the PLC. It's not something you can just go buy at the local store. It's an item made special for that.
Yeah, but they've identified it, and they said, and then Weston and Sampson reviewed it, said that this is the PLC that they should have. And this is what they were unaware of when they provided a price.
Correct. It's an unforeseen condition.
Okay.
So basically, there was a spare port there in the original well station, and between that time and when we did the plant, that spare port was taken up. So we have to add another port for more signals to go through. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
And this will allow you in the future also some spare ports or some spare input outputs if, say, DEP changes some regulations and you need to add things in the future.
I don't have a problem with that change order. How about you?
For $975, I'll go along with it.
We'll make a motion that we,
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, right? So,
well, we're gonna go by one, right?
So those are the major changes in this change order. We can go over the other ones, but we went over everything else before at the last meeting.
yeah, I think we're still kind of looking at things, Barbara, about those other change orders.
Okay.
So I think if you could give us a few more weeks, we can address that.
Well, we have an issue with,
Well, can I go through item number 5?
okay, yeah, that's the one issue
So-
that we would like to resolve.
So item number 5, I believe Barbara at the last meeting spoke to you guys about the steel beam at the entranceway, or the steel post. And we came up with an idea of removing the masonry, I believe the Board of Commissioners asked to remove that masonry wrap. So we've done that and added a PVC enclosure, and that saved roughly $3,000. So that item went from $16,900 to $13,900.
It's item 5 on the new change order.
Originally though, we was at 12 to 17, am I right?
Correct.
I personally am not in favor of that change order.
Right?
I just don't understand why all of a sudden now we gotta have an extra support in the roof.
Why do we have to have an extra support in the roof?
This was, basically, the way this is designed right now, is not gonna work. If it was designed with this steel post, you know, this price here would most likely, you know, or would be in the cost of the project. What was designed was the W824, so the beam going across without the post. That has been removed and a credit has been given back for that. So.
Yeah. And so we,
That didn't happen to me. John, did John Rezak talk to you about this in the last couple of weeks? These just change order?
okay,
Not the specific
Superintendent?
items, no.
You didn't talk any about this at all?
I'll get, you pretend, you know.
You know, you've heard about John. John went out sick again. So what, Barbara, how long, I mean, what does this do to the time frame? If we look at this for another week, we're gonna have a meeting next Tuesday. Is that gonna make an impact on any of this?
The impact is the more we delay on this, the more the contractor can claim a time extension.
Yeah. Okay.
And right now, we're looking at least an additional month of time, so the more we delay, the more your cost will increase on the whole.
This
So,
building was all designed, excuse me, Tim, I do not mean to ignore them.
no, go ahead, Stu.
This building was all designed. Why the change order now?
Well, on a project, you could say this size, or really any project, there is gonna be changes. And especially for the size of this project, you're gonna have changes throughout.
In all due respect though, I I can see some small change orders, but I tend to disagree with a change order on the corner of the overhang of that building. However, tomorrow afternoon, I would like to take a ride up and look over the situation, but I'm dead set against the change order of $14,000 because, he took a post out. That's what the residents of this town, at town meeting approved. We should not be changing.
What I'd like to do is I would like to look at this again and then maybe bring it up at that next meeting. I'm looking at two here, Barbara. We have the other items. There was a total amount of money that was for the electrical contractor. What was it, like 42,000 we determined last time?
Yeah, we took the 11,000 out for the garage.
So that dropped down to 30,000 plus.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing about those other things? Because they're not on this new change order.
Yes, they are. So there's the exhaust fan, and that's item 1 on this new change order for
Okay.
6,300. That hasn't changed. There, item 2, we combined. In the old change order, there were 2 items for the permanganate system wiring, and we combined those. You requested that we do that. And the price you see, the 15,000, is the combined price, so that number has not essentially changed. And then item 3 is the new item that we talked about for the panel in well 2. And item 4 is wiring for the membrane skids. And that number, I think we had a range in the other change order, and that number is 17,000.
So that was a no change?
Right.
Okay. So, it doesn't sound we have the sentiment of the board to support this change order at this time, so we're looking at next week. So what does that do for the schedule?
I mean, potentially, the contractor is due an extra 7 days, because if we continue to delay. So.
Okay.
The thing is, like on item 4, what I don't understand, is all this wiring and stuff. Weren't we supposed to have wiring for this stuff before? And now all of a sudden it's $17,000 more than what we,
I can speak to the, this is, say it again, but this is a typical item that would come in, whether it be a filtration or a microfiltration system, a filter, like a Roberts filter plant. There's a lot of devices that are not shown originally, that don't come out until the final design is done by the filter or supplier. So a lot of these interconnections are not known. I've seen change orders 10 times that on some plants for the interconnections. And again, this here is what we asked for, their interconnection list. We went through it, so there wasn't issues. When everything was being installed, we reviewed all that and said, okay, these are the changes, this is what we're gonna need to add. And we had asked for a change proposal.
Okay, so
I mean, that's a very important item. That is, that's gonna run the Paul system.
yeah. I think we're gonna defer it for another week.
Do you want me to explain the other ones while, while I'm here and we're all kind of.
Well, then, I think that's a good idea.
I know you guys have talked about the fan. It's chemicals in there, there was originally chemicals in there. Most,
Why can't we have just like a big 4-foot fan that's like on wheels in there?
well, that's not gonna give you the, the DEP recommends, it's not, they don't say you have to have it, but they recommend a certain amount of air changes per hour.
No, what I'm saying is, a big portable fan that's a tenth of the price of what this one is what I'm saying.
Well, you want something in line that's gonna continue to, so you can only turn that
We haven't
fan
met
on
there to
when you're in
begin
there.
with, what I'm saying is we can run a fan in there,
Well,
$6,000 for a fan seems like.
well, there's a lot of
Right.
controls with it too, that's how you get the air changes.
Do you have the fan here on your book there at all, or do you look at that?
I do, yeah.
Take a look at it. And this is a,
You want the whole change, or you wanna look at just the drawings and?
so we're going from like a powder type application of the water to like a liquid form.
Correct.
Right, but you had sodium hypochlorite, which is a liquid in there originally, and you still have it.
And so we're adding a liquid now,
Right, you're trading a powder for a liquid.
so we're gonna have a liquid, so is there gonna be a lot of vapors and everything with
Not
that?
any more than there would have been with the bleach.
And so were we deficient before, that we didn't have a fan in there?
It's one of those code gray areas, it's good to have air changes.
It's recommended by the DEP in their guidelines to have a fan and have their air changes.
So is this, what's,
This is a well too.
this is it well too? So there's an existing louver
Correct.
with no fan?
That's correct.
So there is ventilation, but no powered ventilation in that building? So is it, like, it's a gray area, but is it a hazard to any of our people working there, or not having that fan there, or is it just like a recommended?
If there was a leak there, and you opened a door and didn't notice, and you got to a point, fumes could overtake you, it could be like that anywhere.
I am not against a fan, I am against the $6,300.
I think what we need to do is, we need to regroup again on this issue. And then we know that there could be a consequence to it with delays for the contractor. The biggest thing would be ordering up the materials for that beam in that area.
That's the biggest time sensitive issue, yeah.
Okay. So hopefully we'll have some answers by the next meeting. The other thing is, I asked the superintendent, and I think I talked to you about it, Roy, that you might want to think about having change orders for specific things, not a group of them. That's just one of the things, I think, if there's anything that would hang up, we don't want to hang up the whole change order.
Well, the concern is that SRF has to process all of these, and they much prefer to process them in groups. So if there's one particular item that we need to move forward, we can do that on an occasional basis, but I wouldn't recommend doing it on a regular basis, so
Okay.
just to kind of keep the SRF folks happy.
What's involved with that, Barbara? So let me see if I get this in my mind, guys, straight. A request for information comes forward from the contractor. It goes to John. John looks at it, evaluates whether it's necessary. Do you bring it up at that construction meeting at that point?
We can if we need to, if it's been settled during the time frame prior to the meeting, we may not bring it up.
Okay. So then it gets to your hands, and then you process it, see if it's valid or whatever, and then it gets into this form, like this over here?
Well, we have to, so the contractor gives us an RFI, and then we evaluate it, and then we say, okay, based on this, please prepare a proposed, a cost proposal to do this work. And then the contractor will price that out. Sometimes it involves getting prices from the sub-consultants or from the subcontractors.
Okay.
And then he puts that together and gives it to us. So for each of these individual items that are in here, we sort of have a separate package from the contractor that prices that individual item out.
Okay.
And then from there, we get approval from the town, and then we can tell the contractor to go ahead with the work.
So, when you get it, you're getting them to get pricing, they put it together, they give it to John, John gives it to you, and then it shows up on this?
Yes.
Okay, so from, when you get this thing done, does that go through you, or do you just go through somebody else at Weston Sampson?
It goes through John and Ryan Nealand.
Okay, so John and Ryan, they say, okay, this is what we need, and so this gets through you, because you're the project manager, it gets back to our department. And it goes to Laura, and then from there, it comes to the board at that point. Okay, I just wanted to make sure everybody,
That's fine.
gets that process down, just so that everybody knows. So it tends to go to John Reza, right, the superintendent,
Yes.
and then it gets to the board through either Laura or whatever, so. We got John Reza, he looks at it, he would ask questions on that, right? Okay,
Right.
so John, has John been down to the plant recently to discuss any of these change orders?
Not at the plant, but we did talk about, at each meeting, we have a change order log, and we go through the change order log, which is, so change order, we have the change order log, and then we have the items there, change orders 1 through 4.
So at the
1
construction
through 5.
meeting that's held here,
Correct.
you
So
kind of go through that?
we go through those items, so at each meeting, after the meeting, I attach them to the meeting minutes, and there'll be all the items that are out there for change orders. At least
Okay.
that we have on record at this point, whether they're executed or not.
Okay. So is there, at that stage, is there any approval from the superintendent that says, okay, I agree with that, you guys are right on
No,
track?
we don't talk about approval at the meeting,
Okay,
per se, to those change order laws. We just go through what's out there at that time.
okay. All right, so then, the superintendent is not really part of that process, or is he?
For,
For getting these change orders to the level that we're getting to this?
well, we typically either, John was out, we would send it to Laura or John. So I think the last change order 5 was sent to Laura and John,
Okay,
and to get to the board for the last meeting.
yeah, okay. All right, I think I got it then. You guys got any questions?
The only thing
Not
I
at this time.
is like 2-3 weeks ago, they started talking about that beam and stuff. And it was brought up that they started this back in February, and we didn't hear anything until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we ought to be informed a little bit more.
Well, we didn't have a price proposal from the contractor.
No, I'm just saying, you know, it went 3 months before we even knew that they was thinking about it.
Right, but
Right.
back at that time, you weren't approving change orders, John was, so that was the protocol that had been set up.
Okay. Anybody have any questions in the audience?
Yes. As a member of the Town of Raleigh Board of Selectmen, I would just like to, unfortunate the superintendent was out for a 30-day sick time, another 30, and he's out another 30. Does this have any impact on holding up, my only feeling is, I'll just put it this way, that I think it's very, very important that the superintendent works for the water commissioners. Correct me if I'm wrong now. He should be right the day-to-day involvement. Report back to, like I noticed tonight, we're going back on change order 5 and this. It should be the superintendent's job, I think, to report. That's what he manages the department. Can't take anything away now because he is on sick leave. This is a big project facing the town of Raleigh, $13 million, and it's very, very important, I think. I think the board would have to agree to me too, that we really can't afford to pay in the extra to holding up the contractor and stuff for doing these different change orders. The other thing, the change orders come to the Board of Water Commissioners, approved, and then I think they are sent to the town hall for review of the selectmen. Am I right on that now?
We
That's-
vote to approve it
Approve them.
based on our people overseeing,
Right.
it, which is John Rezza, or acting superintendent or whatever, yeah. And then once we approve it, it goes to you guys, and you approve it, and then, but it's already gone through review from Weston and Sampson
Right.
to the review, the DEP review board.
No, DEP hasn't reviewed
It
it.
hasn't reviewed it at that
You
point.
have to approve it.
Before it goes to them, okay, so then, so we have a lot of oversight, but we have some questions now, so.
Well, Bobby, the next question, Tim, is, Mr. Rezza, is this, I'm gonna ask the question, Bobby, that he's out for, correct me if I'm wrong, for 4 weeks.
June 5th, what the paper
Yeah.
says there, yeah.
The thing is, Roy, though, what determines, if you're out on the sick leave or what you do, who determines that date? I mean, is it done through medical, or is it?
It was a doctor's thing.
A doctor's
that you gave
thing?
us, correct?
It was not a doctor's letter, it was a nurse practitioner.
Okay. Now, what's to stop, Stu or Tim or Roy, when he comes back, that he would have to go back out on disability again?
Oh, I don't know what's wrong, but I mean, it sounds like it's something serious if you gotta go to the
Well,
doctor
that's,
every day.
I think so.
So I don't really know what to say on that.
I know
Well,
you're
we
gonna,
have an item coming up.
no, that's, I'm just gonna go back, you're gonna, discuss hiring a temporary water superintendent, during John Rez's medical.
Yeah.
Is that something you're gonna
That's
be
what
doing?
we're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
We-
All right.
we oughta- I think we ought to conclude this at this time as far as the change order. We apologize that we're looking into it. I know that everybody's anxious to get this thing going. We're all for that. We get a lot of questions. We're having, some thoughts and discussions about it now, in hopes that will, make it more smooth for everybody. So I appreciate your patience over the next week or two. Is there any other things that are coming our way that we should be prepared for, as far as change orders?
There are some items that we're working on, some credits and some additional charges, yes,
Okay.
but those aren't finalized yet. so.
Okay, so we have, something to look forward to, right?
These are gonna happen during the entire project.
Yeah.
It's typical course.
Yeah. Okay,
Just so you know, Stu said he was thinking of coming by tomorrow, we're doing some testing as well too. To get that ready to go back online, so we'll be on over there if anybody wants to come by.
okay.
See what's going on there.
You gonna be out there, John?
Yep.
Okay.
The morning, the afternoon.
Well, I'd like to say it's gonna take a couple hours, but it will usually take a lot longer.
I understand.
We'll probably be over there all day.
So I wanna thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And just so the board knows, Rob's gonna be at well 2 tomorrow, in training. He's gonna learn how to do the new chemicals, switch, before we can turn well 2 back on. And there was an email there, with the schedule. So he will be here on Friday to test Rob and to try to get well 2 started. There is an email in the packet on that timeline.
Okay. Mandatory water ban,
Okay,
next item?
so what I did for you, we need to, well, the superintendent or the board is gonna have to make a decision on this. I put together, our withdrawal permit from DEP, telling us what we need to do. I explained to you how we decide, there's a whole packet in here, and this form needs to be turned over to DEP. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention so that whoever the acting superintendent, this is something that should be high on their priority. It's
What's the
hard
deadline on this?
So, soon.
So we have a date?
Yeah, I'll have you read that through.
Okay.
The DEP, our withdrawal permit is in there.
Okay, let me read this.
And I put in, towns around us, there's a map in there of towns around us starting water bans. We have a water ban every year as part of our permit withdrawal. And, it's clearly spelled out in our permit, what
Okay.
we need to do. So whoever that is that's supposed to do it, I just wanted to let you know.
So we don't know if there's a date that we have to do it by a certain date with the gauge reading from the Parker River, or is it?
So it's April through October.
So we could have a water ban April through October?
Right. And today
Because
is
of this
May
water,
first.
because of this gauge reading?
Right, so I told you how to get to the gauge reading, it's all in the
Okay.
packet.
Let's read it, and we'll talk about it
Yeah,
next meeting.
it's something that's on the radar.
Okay.
So there's a map here, this is off of DEP's website. And then here's our rain gauge, I made a picture for you so you can see where it was. And then here's the website you need to go to and.
Thank you, Laura, I really,
So, it's.
it makes me feel so,
If you need me to do
Smart.
if you need me to do anything, please let me know.
you've done too much.
Okay.
Thanks, Laura, doing a great job. Thank you very much,
I just want to bring it to your attention.
and thank you very much. So we'll bring that up at the next meeting.
I'll put
Can
it
you
on
put
as
that on?
old business and we
Okay.
can talk about it
Okay.
again after everybody looks at it. So, I've been getting, you tell me, Tim, I got another one since I talked to you at 5 o'clock, I emailed it to you, right in Pierce.
Yeah,
It's on your little sheet.
Okay. Since John is out on a very unanticipated sick leave thing again, and all the matters at hand need to be addressed, I thought that we should get a temporary water superintendent during John Rez's medical absence in order to help us with some of the duties that Laura was so gracious to help us last time. I think she needs some help. I think we need to get this thing with the change orders looked into, something that more expertise than anybody here. So I asked Laura to see what the availability is, some of the consulting firms to provide something on a very temporary emergency basis for the next few weeks, hopefully, until John comes back, to help us through some of these things. So I got together with downtown, and we, of course, we're, very diligent about procurement, to try to get this thing done so we can get this thing done fast. This is a very fast process. Laura, you got Wright and Pierce to give us some pricing.
Yeah, he just did an estimate there, he's gonna get back to me. I talked to him around, 5:30 today.
Yeah.
So he wasn't prepared, he'll send a letter to us and I'll bring it to the board next week.
We just need the documentation. It seems to me that we got Wright and Pierce, and we got
So
Woodward and Curran. That it didn't seem like they were gonna.
he's gonna get back to us. They haven't called me back, that was today. I did talk to them.
Yeah.
They wanted to discuss it and see who was available before they gave us pricing. The DEP, the requirements were more than the engineering of the treatment plant, so they have to look for.
Okay.
So we would have to do a scope of service, Tim. I
If we
used
go-
your email as a guideline.
Yeah, if we go over 5,000.
Well, we still have to scope it. You gotta get 3 quotes with the same scope of service. So you can't, if you want just to hire an engineer to oversee, or do you wanna hire a superintendent? I had in there, so I used your email when I discussed this. Experience required, water system distribution treatment for both operations,
Yeah.
supervision of licensed personnel, construction management, and DEP reporting. So a lot of these engineering companies, it's coming down to making sure the person can do the DEP reporting. So that's what Woodman and Curran, they had to go out and find somebody that would be qualified to do that.
Well, it's Paul would be making the DEP reporting. He's the acting temporary operator.
Well, you had that on your
Perm-
email,
yeah.
so I would have to go out to change the
No,
scope.
I don't think we need to do that, Laura. I think what we need to do is get somebody in here that's got a license, like a PE, and oversee the reporting with the DEP through the primary and secondary operator.
So Debbie offered to do the scope, you saw that in the email I attached?
Well, yeah, I talked to her again, so I think what we ought to do is, we ought to get this thing going, because if we try to do everything with the proposals and wait for them to come in, we need to get this thing that happened tonight, we need to get.
Town hall will be 6 months anyway.
So, I'm off for 2 days.
Yeah.
So if you want to get it going tomorrow, if you want to follow up with Debbie and have her do a scope, and Marie can.
Well, the
get it
scope
out.
is a temporary professional come in here that has a license like a PE, to come in and provide some superintendent type duties that fill in for John.
Why can't we go and look around and see that somebody that's like retired from the town that's got all,
By the time we do that, Roy,
well, I mean, we've been 6 months trying to get a secretary, so I mean,
We need somebody right away because of these change order things. It's gonna start delaying us, so we need somebody that's got some construction management experience.
So,
That's
can,
our biggest need.
do you mind getting in touch with Marie tomorrow, or how do you wanna handle this?
Well, tonight I would like to entertain, you know, a decision. We need to get somebody sooner rather than later in here to look at this, the construction details, and we need somebody to look at, somebody for these guys to report to.
Where is this money coming out of, for the funds?
That's the other thing, where's the money gonna come out of?
I didn't know
Before-
about this prior to town meeting,
So we have an expense budget, do we have any
So-
money in there to take care of
we'll
this?
have to bring it to the fiscal team.
I think we gotta find out if we got money for it before we can even think about trying to hire somebody, don't we?
Do we have any money in the expense line?
We have $107,000,
Okay,
but we have other bills
I know.
that need to be paid.
yeah.
So, like I said the other day.
We have
I
an
didn't know-
emergency here, Laura, we gotta start acting right now, we can't,
Okay, so then
delay
the
this any
fiscal
longer.
team will have to get involved, and get
Okay.
the fiscal team involved.
so, I don't think we need to get a fiscal team involved, I think we need to get the town administrator. Jack, you have any questions?
Tim, this fellow you have that fills in, is he, you're paying Weston Sampson $80 an hour, right, for this, is it Paul?
Yeah.
Right.
What kind of degrees does he have?
Paul?
Yeah,
He's highly qualified to handle the.
management and stuff, I mean, how would that reflect that he works for Weston Sampson, that he could be,
Be a conflict, wouldn't it?
huh?
Be a conflict.
Well, the Weston and Sampson is,
They're recommended in the change orders, and he works for us,
yeah,
and
so we need to have
Yeah,
somebody,
right.
Weston and
Yeah, that
Sampson,
would definitely really be a conflict.
so,
But you've got, like you say, and if you go to town hall, that's 1 week, 2 weeks, and John's coming back June 4th?
I think we can do this week, get this thing ball
Yeah,
rolling.
so you got 2 weeks.
The only thing we don't know is,
He's back.
you know, exactly where the money's coming out of, and I think we heard from Laura that we got over $100,000 in the expense line. So I think we can pay it out of that, we'll have to just.
Well,
Well, we
well,
gotta
said.
be okay
Wait a
before
minute, I
we
didn't
use it.
say we could pay, I said, that's how, we have bills that we have to pay.
Yeah,
That's what I was
Okay,
about to say, and you also read it, well, this is the bills to pay. How many hours a week would you
I
keep
think-
talking with a PD? Half days, 4 hours a day?
4 hours, no more than 20 hours a week, and then keep it under 5,000.
I think before we go and do anything like that, Tim, I think we've gotta make sure it's okay downtown, they're gonna,
That's another
Hey.
meeting out, by the time we get through.
so then, if that's the case, did you talk to John? See, I didn't, that email that he sent, I never talked to him. I was surprised by that email.
Well, we talked to all these, we talked to Wright and Pierce, they can do it for $8,100.
So they're out because they're too expensive.
Yeah, and then we got, the other place in, the other PE in Ipswich, he had the pass, he doesn't have the time. So, you know, we're kind of
No, but
limited
the other, so
in time.
the email that I attached was to you, Tim.
Yeah.
So did you talk to John?
John said he could do it.
So I didn't talk to him, I left him a message, so his email is attached. And that his understanding was that he would act as an oversight for the new facility. So does he wanna do the acting superintendent?
Water superintendent is responsible for monitoring.
I attached the emails,
Let's see.
so,
Jimmy, Jack has a question.
Let me read this email. So he just said that was one of his one of his duties he could provide. So Jack,
Yeah, the question is, Tim, if you, I don't know the numbers, or you're looking 20 hours, maybe I'm hearing this wrong. Maybe you could straighten so I know. John Rez is gonna be out till, you've got a June 4th, is that correct?
that,
He's gonna be back, so
that's his.
coming back,
Is it, is it
he's
the
your
4th?
superintendent, am I right?
Well, is it the 4th? Okay, so, yeah, okay.
He's your superintendent. So if you hire a guy, you get him for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
You're gonna have 2 superintendents or one?
one.
So what does that do to the guy that you hire? He's done, right?
Yeah, he's just a temporary.
Temporary.
He's gonna look into, you know, providing,
Doing crucial stuff that you need done right now.
right now, on the table, it hasn't been done.
Okay,
Stuff that hasn't been done for a couple of 3 months. So we need to have somebody in there right now making some determinations for us. Determining, and then, you know, providing some leadership on those areas. So we need to get our arms around this. You know, this is the second time he's out, and, you know,
third time.
we wish the best, you know, that he recovers fast and everything, but we need a stopgap right after that. Laura needs a few days off from work.
Yes. Well, the only other thing I just would like to recommend, the Town of Raleigh Water Department, Light Department, electric light runs similar to what you people do, 3 commissioners. I was watching, I don't know if anyone here watched the other night, they had the meeting. They have a, I don't wanna say 3 months, but they have a 6-month valuation of the manager. Everyone, you know, the 3 commissioners, the performance of the job, the duties of the job, how it's being performed. We just did it on the Board of Selectmen for our administrator, and how she follows and does this, and helpful to whatever, and the needs of the town. I mean, she's a little bit different, she's oversees a lot of stuff there. Would that be something, I know prior to myself being on the board, we never went into this thing, but I think at this time, we got a big plan coming online, and performance is gonna be a great deal on the management of what's going on and whatever. So I just a thought.
Yeah, well, we plan on doing a review, you know, at some point, to try to get our arms around that, and then get more direction from this board to the superintendent, and what our priorities are, because of the things that have changed over the months.
Right.
The immediate need is, we have these change orders, which are starting to delay things. And so, in looking at that, we looked at engineering firms to provide some temporary engineering type assistance. And that person can also act as superintendent for some management duties, including making sure that reportable things are met with the staff. The staff is Weston and Sampson at this point, and Rob. And between those 2 gentlemen, you know, they need somebody to oversee them. And then we need somebody to oversee the timesheets. The timesheets aren't, you know, we're signing the timesheets now. We're not down here every day. We need somebody to kind of be on top of that and get their arms around it. Laura has been signing things, and that you know, she's signing that timesheet, and, you know, that's never been a protocol here. So we have an organizational adjustments going on here. So we need, you know, to bring this guy, I mean, it looks like John Hargraves is the lowest bidder, and as long as he keeps it below, I think we had I think we ought to have a motion, we hire him right off the bat and get him going for the next 2 weeks.
I'm not seconding it, or making any motions until downtown tells us we can hire
Well,
somebody.
make it contingent on
Right,
downtown.
exactly what I was about to say. Make a motion, vote it contingent on talking to the administrator.
Have her make sure everything is according to procurement or whatever, to her satisfaction. We've got, our homework has been done. We have several people we've contacted looking for some engineers. And I'd like to hear a motion about John Hargraves. I think he's got the most experience. I've seen his resume. He doesn't have it here, does he?
I didn't, no, he didn't
Yeah, he
throw
sent it to
anything
me.
to me.
What's his-
John Hargraves,
what's his quote?
I think he's charging $90 to $100 an hour, and not, maybe 90. I think he said, I don't think he put the price on there, so,
So
He
there must
can-
be more information, I didn't have.
yeah. So he has a resume that he sent to me, and he's got some, he would have qualified for the same position John Secura. Yeah, looking at his qualifications, he's been working for Metcalf and Eddie and a few of these other big firms years ago, and he has his own firm. So he's well.
Where's he
attuned with
from,
design.
Tim?
Newbury.
Oh, Newbury? Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, my hat goes off to Rob and Laura. I mean, look what's going on.
Yeah,
I mean, them poor people are on call 24/7.
I know.
Look at, Laura's been working hard out here, like she
I know.
deserves time off. Get a guy, I mean, what we've gone through the town with this water department,
She came here with dark hair. so it's-
for 6 months, you know what I'm saying? You deserve to do something like you're saying, get okay for downtown till we get this thing, the arrow straight.
We need to
And get
get
it
this,
running.
we gotta get it
You've got it. That's right,
organized
yeah.
and, in the right track, so.
Yeah.
I think this is part of the process.
I'll look at those words, there's a plant going up for $12+ million. You need somebody making the decisions for the best interest of the town right away.
Exactly,
We need to get our arms around it.
yeah,
We don't have it.
yeah. You're going here, Tim, you're going here, you should be this way, like you said.
Superintendent hasn't even been down there. Looks at what he said,
Yeah.
so. You know, we need to get going on this, so can I have a motion? Contingent upon.
I'll make a motion that we hire a PE at no more than 20 hours a week,
Not to exceed,
3 weeks, and not to exceed $5,000 contingent on the town administrator's approval.
do I have a second?
I'll second, only to make sure that they say something down there first before we even talk to this guy.
That's what
I
the
don't think we
motion
should
is.
even talk to him until
Contingent.
downtown.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. So you're going off tomorrow?
And Friday, so I'll be back in the office Monday.
Yeah.
So,
So,
if you wanna
what
follow
I could
up.
do is I could meet with Marie tomorrow. I
Yeah.
could, maybe sure get that ball rolling downtown.
Yeah, because she'll have to do the agenda too, because the agenda will have to be posted on Friday. Tim, if you want to work with Marie on that.
And so it's gonna be John Hargraves as the lowest bidder. Okay,
Great.
and next item is,
You'll talk to the Mrs. Egan, Miss Egan tomorrow.
talked to the town administrator today, and we had interviewed Rob for the secondary
Mhm.
operator, so we need to make a motion. So Rob, we have 3 positions open. We have a primary, we've got 2 secondaries. Rob is interested in the secondary position. Rob is fulfilling a temporary position now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
So Rob is interested in that secondary position.
Secondary full-time.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
I thought we already gave him the job for the secondary.
I don't think we voted on it, so.
Yeah, you did, Tim. So I think what Debbie's asking tonight is, I did do a wage action and give it to John. So I think what
So you did a
Debbie-
wage action and gave it to John. So where is
Yeah,
it now?
I don't know.
Okay.
So I think what
So we
Debbie's
need to take over
saying
that.
is to do the appointment of the secondary,
But
which is Rob.
What did you use for a number for his hourly rate?
I left it blank for the superintendent. That's,
Okay, so
you know.
he didn't handle, so that's what this is about too.
So Rob, yeah, so I think that's what
So
Debbie's
Rob-
saying here.
Rob is
What is the
currently,
range in that?
Robert, well, I got this all done, written down here, let me say it.
It should be on our notes.
Rob is, well, we're gonna have to just say it verbally. Rob is currently the temporary primary operator, is being paid 24.10 per hour. The former secondary operator, who was recently left employment, was earning 25.60. The water board can offer a rate of 25.60, which is in the budget, with the stipulation that Debbie Egan discussed this with the AFSCME representative. These are red circled rates, so Debbie's still under negotiating things with the union, so due to the fact that it's very difficult to recruit qualified applicants who have the required licenses per the DEP regulations in hand, okay? So Rob qualifies for that, he's been a wonderful employee, and we need to move this along. I didn't get a chance to talk to him if he would accept the 25.60. What do you think? Do you think he'd take that, what he's making now?
I think we would,
Yeah, but, so we need to,
that's just a guess.
yeah. So that would be the offer, and, you know, that's the best we can do at this point. Next steps are filling the primary and secondary water operator, okay? Debbie has informed us that we have 1 applicant for the primary operator position that meets the qualifications of the job, and 1 applicant for the secondary position.
And I just emailed both you and Debbie around 5 o'clock today. I did get at 4:55 another application
Okay,
who was also qualified.
all right, so,
So I emailed it to you, Tim, and to Debbie, and there's a hard copy that's gonna go to town hall tomorrow.
so what we've been doing in the past is we've been doing our own hiring. So now the town and then the personnel board has been getting involved with to help us out, okay? So what we've been doing is letting them screen things. So what I think I'd like to call for a motion to authorize me to conduct a preliminary screening interview with both candidates, or even this other candidate included, and the town administrator / personnel officer. So we want to be able to screen those people and get this ball rolling sooner rather than later.
They're still gonna have to come here for,
Absolutely, but to screen them out, to make sure that, you know, we get the ball rolling. We're gonna look at references, we're gonna get that ball rolling, make sure everything is in order before they come here, and then we're gonna make a decision as a
is this gonna
board.
take as long as the secondary is?
No,
It's been since January.
I know, So we're trying to get this thing done.
And just so you, I did attach to your packets, typical responsibilities and duties for a certified operator from Mass DEP.
Okay.
Just if, during your interview, these are requirements for these two positions, just as a guideline, just so you would have it, what DEP expects from our operators.
Okay, so we'll, if I could have a copy of that I could bring to the.
It's in your
permanent-
packets,
Okay.
I did attach it.
Sorry,
in your
it's
packet.
right here.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura. And then, after the preliminary screening interviews, Debbie and Amy will conduct reference checks.
Good.
So we can go through that, so that, you don't have to get burdened with that,
Okay.
let them do it. The applicants will then be scheduled for formal public interviews with the water board. The water board will then select a candidate by unanimous vote. So it's kinda like, in writing. I think that we can handle that. I think that that's a good process.
What are we gonna do now for Rob
Yeah.
to make him the full-time,
Well, we're gonna make a motion that we hire him the full-time secondary operator at, that rate of 25.60.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next motion is that you authorize me, Tim Toomey, to conduct a preliminary screening interview with the town administrator and the, so at least we have a representative in that screening down there. Not that,
I'll make the motion for Tim to, work with the, town administrator, screening these candidates
before they come here.
before they,
On a quarterly basis.
in other words, if there are 6, they can send us 3 to choose something
No,
else.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I think, does that conclude it?
Make a motion to adjourn.
You second that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.